everybody, today we're gonna make a stool. We already have 6 stools, so we're just going to make another one. That is all what I want to say now. So we're gonna build another stool today.
A few years ago we built a tabletop using old Oregon pine beams. And we bought some stools online second-hand and made our own stools with the offcuts of the beams. We add the pieces pre-cut to length, so I'm just going to deburr all the sharp edges. So now we need to turn this piece of round bar into a circle. I don't have a roller, so I'm gonna just knock it. Probably the hardest part of this project was replicating the ring at the bottom of that stool, since it's such a visible feature and such an easy one to catch when it's off. So a lot of care and attention went into shaping it. We drew a reference circle on the ground just to easily indicate the shape and trace it from and trace the welding points from there. Notching the supports, we could bend it accurately. And then copying the measurements over from the stool for the cross beams. So I'm jippoing the design slightly. Obviously I'm making up for significant depth by putting up a thick piece of wood here. So I'm getting rid of the curve that has to be accommodated by the metal. So I'm just going to make everything flat and put the bend in the wood itself. That way the top surface of all the stools will be at the same height. After tack welding everything in place and knocking it flat, all the flux could be cleared off of the welds and the welds could be filled in where needed. Alright, spinning a good welding rod on what could have been a grinding trim. After the subbase was completed, the legs were started on. Okay, so after marking the location of the ring on the legs, drawn from the reference chair, we can actually from our reference circle draw where the legs need to be welded. Drawing a measurement from here. This was done roughly so that the legs could still be bent open a little bit if needed to do final locating. With the legs tack welded in place, the stool was turned around and the ring was located. Everything was bent into final positions and welded in place. The leveling was done with a spirit level. First the floor level was checked to be more or less acceptable and used as a reference surface, before leveling the top of the substructure and then just fully welding that. After the welds were completed, the bulky welds were just cleaned off a bit and the holes were marked out for mounting the seat. The holes were deburred and countersunk at the bottom. The offcut beam was cut to size to match the earlier chairs. Now I'm going to shape the wood. I'm just going to use a flat disc 40 grit. Just going to do the bottom, skim it flat, and then shape the top. This was probably the most fun in terms of just shaping and playing with the wood and being quite liberal with freely shaping it. The stool top was hand sanded, just getting rid of all the grinder marks and also emphasizing getting rid of the softer wood first and the harder wood staying behind, just emphasizing the worn look. The screw holes were marked out and copied over to the stool bottom. The pilot holes were drilled for the screws. The wood was treated with penetrable oil and pretty much drenched in it, just in an attempt to saturate and salvage it, being quite old wood. A direct to metal and rust paint was applied to the frame. The feet were popped on and the top of the stool was fixed to the frame. After giving it one last coat with a cloth, we decided that we to match the look of the old stools with that of the new as much as possible. Let's see how close I can get the 3 old ones to look like the new one.